Peace, y'all. Welcome to my channel, Ephraim. We back, man, and we here in a special way. It's different now. You feel me? If you can see, I'm literally in a different car. It's been so much that's taken place since the start of the year. Man, happy 2026. New space, new time. And I just gotta say, man, there's a word I even want to start off with, a word that I was exposed to recently. It's called the liminal space. You feel me? And right now, that's exactly where I feel I'm at, this in between. Especially when I talk about the blessings. Granted, it's blessings every day just to be here, just to be present. Like literally when I run y'all through what's been going on, I'm grateful to be here and to be alive. But when we talk about the previous timeline coming into this new timeline, right? This higher version of self that I'm embodying and the person I'm being, it's been a process, it's been a transition. And so to make a long story short, with me being in this car, I'm in a Mazda right now. It's blacked out Mazda. I have a rental car because just at the start of this past week, I was in a car accident. It was very mild, however. It was, my car, it's a Mazda. I was driving. I was moving to another lane. And then this other car came from behind, swiped the side of my mirror, like completely shattered it. You feel me? And he was all right too, but his car has some damages in the front, and mine was kind of like on the side of the vehicle. And now we sat out there, we waited for like a security guard came by, and they contacted the police, filed a report, and even insurance I have is covering, it's a deductible, all that great stuff. But long story short, they got me a replacement vehicle, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna repair your car in a few days, couple weeks. That being said, it's like it also, I would say, gave me that that awakening. Some people call it rude awakening, but it wasn't so rude, because I do have to say, like, again, I'm grateful that the damage wasn't severe. I'm completely fine. I had a headache at first, but my body is well as far as I know right now. It's nothing major. Like, I don't have no limbs. I don't, missing. I don't have no limbs missing. And yeah, I can function. And it's just so often we take things for granted. Like, even when they are blessings, in our current life, in our current reality, we take it for granted until the moment. I'm even doing Uber orders, right? I'm doing food deliveries specifically. So like, I'm driving around town and it's like, oh, okay, like I have to get this fixed. I can't even make money the way that I'm accustomed to if I don't attend to this. And I think having that moment to actually slow down and stop, right, being in that in-between space of like, yo, I know I have these goals. I'm starting the year off strong. I'm going to the gym. I'm at a new martial arts gym. Like, I want to be there to make classes, and it's like all this past week I didn't even get to go to the classes. But there's a reason for it, and I feel like that's what God really has shown me as of late. Of like, there was an old way of doing things, and there was these habits, right, that we've worked up. And even the way that we're taught to work and our relationship with money, right? That money relationship is something that I've been big on just reevaluating and, repairing and strengthening, I would say. And for that reason, a lot of times we tend to be indoctrinated with, you have to work hard, you have to spend countless hours to receive the money. And I feel that if God is showing me I'm on this path to abundance, I'm on this timeline of ease, I shouldn't have to work hard for money. You feel me? Like, I shouldn't have to stress myself out or expend myself to where I'm just always reaching my limits, at least just to meet the bare minimum. Like, that's just not necessary. And I feel like that's a mindset when we talk about confirmation with the notifications, man. When we talk about impoverished upbringings, circumstances, and environments, a lot of time we're fed this rhetoric that in order for us to get what we desire, we have to work super, super hard. No sleep, no food, no drink, just work, and that's it. And it's like, man, that's not even feasible, because it's not sustainable, and there's no way. Like, what is the end result? Like, what are we actually going to hold at the end of the day? Like, if I have to forsake my family, if I have to forsake my health and plenty of other values, friendships, my experiences in life, just to receive money, then what value does the money actually provide to me in my life to diminish it's actually diminishing the quality of my life at that point. If it's calling me stress and fatigue, and it's actually shortening my lifespan, then that's doing me no good. It's not great, to say the least. So for that reason, like, we get into this law of attraction, right? And I think about the vibration, and what do I subconsciously hold to be true? Because this is the part of manifesting, right? Or even just our manifestation journey, which we don't always consider, because it's what internal thought am I, what I hear a lot, right? Resting and residing in. It's kind of like, I compare it to my default state or my baseline. And I do feel like, especially in this new year, in this moment in time, like, I've reached a completely different baseline for one, my standard, which is extremely important. I feel like, we all do have standards, and we all should have standards. But I feel like, I feel like we should have a level of standard that is actually beneficial for us. We should have a healthy standard, we should have a wealthy standard, for real. But it's just not always the reality for everyone. So for me personally, when I think about what I want to create, and if I say, okay, creating my, my visioning, my vision board, my planning for the future of what do I want this to look like, right? What am I imagining my future timeline, my future reality to look like? And now it's the aligned action of, okay, I need to do these steps in accordance to reach that goal. And part of that is coming on here and being able to speak with y'all, man. It's no way I can give up on my goals or my commitment, something I set out to do. It's no way I can not see it through and expect any results. And I think the biggest thing, right, we talk about this channel, we talk about, so many of us with content, YouTube, social media, it's like the underlying thing, or maybe it's becoming more prominent now, is the why. Like, what is the purpose behind doing what we do? What is the purpose behind me sharing my story? And there's so many ways to look at it, because I do feel like purpose is multifaceted. But for me, asking that question, why? For one, I know it's for myself at this point of, like, I need, but I desire growth, right? I desire growth, but it is a requirement for me to keep going. The person that I am, I want to continuously improve, and just documenting my progress along the way. I feel like it really is a testament to so many people, because I already realized, man, there's plenty of people that I've kind of come to terms with it and just been accepting, like, regardless of if I want them to or not. Like, people are going to look for inspiration, and at times what one might consider leadership. You know, even though we all have the I believe we all have the capacity or the ability to lead ourselves, because we all make our own choices at the end of the day. However, the duality in experience and our reality is that we, like, inversely, we need sometimes to be introspective and be internal, but we also need to be external as well. Like, at times there's going to be a desire to go outside of us, and even just looking outside of ourselves for our experiences, meaning like maybe something that we want to experience, but also, even if it comes to purpose, like, I want to be a part of something bigger than me, right? And for me, I know that's a continuous desire. It's always has been. And it's another thing I'm coming to terms with, as like I've been doing this big introspection, going from, I had my born day, December 9th, I'm 27 now, reaching a new age, but transitioning from, in the Western world, what the masses over here consider the new year, right? Collectively, it's a shift for everyone in this time period. So regardless of accuracy or whatever calendars we follow, it's a collective conscious thing, right? So we're all making this transition into a new time period. And okay, 2026, we get to start over. Even though every day, every moment we get the chance to start over, this is a significant milestone for people. So acknowledging that, and I'll say riding and really flowing with that momentum, it's like, okay, what am I going to do as well to own and be accountable for my part in the collective, right? And giving that some thought, I will say, let's go back to acceptance, right? For me, just accepting where I'm at, my purpose and my reason and my why to create. I want to make sure that I am showing up. I want to make sure that I'm putting in that work. I'm consistently maintaining my efforts, because I can do whatever, right? We can choose whatever feelings, right? But it just doesn't make sense for me to harbor any frustration, resentment, any of those so-called negative emotions, right? Of like, I want to be frustrated about my external reality, but what have I done to align with a different reality, right? What have I done to create the change? And that boils down to something I've been thinking about, of the change is all about my ability to choose, right? So again, we all have the will to do so, and choice is a key factor in our entire experience. You think about habits. I think about major books like Atomic Habits, something I've just been getting back into, and even Mel Robbins, I was just checking out. She has the High Five habit, right? Kind of within her series and her conversations from her podcast. Just really enunciating and or putting emphasis on the fact that everything that we're doing to whatever outcome, like whether it's good or bad, positive or negative, this is built upon a series of habits, right? A series of choices which become our habits, right? So the things that we do repetitively are habitual. Like 19 Keys says, what you do frequently becomes your frequency. So I think about, am I going to continue to align with my previous old habits that didn't really serve me well just because they're familiar and I'm comfortable? And if I'm making that choice, more or less, if I know that what I want is in direct opposition to that, then that means I'm existing in fear, because fear is the main thing that keeps us as a person, stuck in the same place without deciding to, just make new choices and decisions. And I know for me how much it resonates because of my experiences, my upbringing, even when I was working as a full-time engineer, as a manufacturing engineer last year and the year before. It was one of the things that I got really great feedback from a supervisor was like, hey, Ephraim, don't be afraid to make mistakes. And so accepting that, that idea of perfectionism that many of us may hold on to, I know for myself, something I've held on to, but also that something is a level of projection and indoctrination. Like, fear, insecurity, perfectionism is not who I am, right? So if this whole channel is based off the premises of Ephraim, like, who am I? Me revealing that and me being consistent to my manifestations, then I also need to declare and let go of, right? Remove and detach from the things that are not who I am. Like, that's not me. So the proof in that is a direct response to do the opposite. It's like almost like reverse engineering. If I say I want this outcome, like, okay, what is the outcome I don't want? I remember hearing that somewhere last year too. That just made me think from like a podcast or something. But yeah, knowing the things that I don't want to repeat, and it's not to meditate or focus or hyper fixate on that, but it's just knowing that, okay, this is something that I've done in the past. This is something that led to failure. Let's not do that anymore, right? Let's do something new, and let's build these new habits for success. So I'm here and I'm declaring, like, that is my choice. And regardless of, there's always excuses, right? I'm in a new car, new vehicle, if it's a new location, being like, we don't have the time. It's like, no, I have infinite time as long as I'm alive. Sometimes we want to control what the situation may look like, and we want to control the environment and the scenario, right? But even that is just, to me, when it comes to God, right, and the manifestations of God, and allowing God to work or be involved in my life and my path and my direction, then it means I should let go of this idea of control, right? I should let go of the thought that, at the very least, just to clarify, that this situation needs to be and go exactly how I envisioned it in my mind. Because even if it is my manifestation and it's using my imagination, the reality in life is that there's so many variables and there's so many things that can just change, right? And being flexible and open to change. Even as I'm about to get in the gym and I've been working on my mobility and my flexibility, it's also having that mentally and spiritually to know that I'm open to infinite possibilities and scenarios, because from what I'm learning, right, that allows more of a flow, that loosens the rigidity, and it allows that manifestation to come in that much quicker because I'm now co-creating with God, right? Like they say, co-creating throughout the universe, but for me specifically, I'm working with that God energy, and I'm allowing whatever outcome just to pull it out of the universe and be like, okay, this is what I want. This is what, and this is not only just like what I want, but allowing, right, that space for God and submitting to it. It's like, oh no, this is what God knows is best for me, right? Because I might say that I want this, but the reality shows when I experience it, you know what, maybe this scenario, this situation was actually better for me. That's another thing that I've really just been coming to terms with and accepting. And there can be feelings and emotions for me specifically, right, that can come with a fear of the unknown, right? That can be like, wow, I don't know what's gonna happen, and I think for a lot of us, that's a very uncomfortable feeling, especially when you go through it for the first time. Like me being in life where, yeah, there's plenty of things I haven't known, but being in a space where there's not a specific structure or specific outcome to, well, yeah, specific, how do I say it? Like ideal of what the outcome may look like. Excuse me. I think that's the realization, because there's goals, there's things that I might want, but being in a place now, again, 27, full time into being a creator, also just entrepreneurship, working within business and thinking about, wow, there's so many things that I could do. There's so many avenues, so many pathways, right? And there's infinite ways to make money and just exchange value. However, what I'm considering is like, what is really best for me? And I do want God to be able to reveal that to me. So I don't want to be getting in the way. I don't want to be restricting the flow of my progress. I want to be in a place of allowance and accepting and receiving. Probably most importantly, just, accepting and receiving what is best. And to that point, I do feel like it's a very feminine energy, energetically. It doesn't matter about a gender. It's just more so of, this is the receptive energy that I'm going to allow myself to be in. And with that, like, it comes a level of sensitivity. Sometimes, that can also breed insecurity for a lot of us, again, just because we're not accustomed to it. But I think true power and true strength, right? Even when I think about a lot of Stoic principles, and you talk about the yin and the yang, one and the same. You need both, right, of these energies, structure and flow, masculine and feminine, to work together to really bring something that's powerful, that's impactful and substantial and sustainable. So that is the foundation that I'm building on. I really appreciate you guys for listening to me, for tapping in with me. I want y'all to continue to be here on this journey with me. If you have suggestions, please leave it in the comments. Like, let me know. I'm thinking about, should I do, because at first I was like, I do one video a week, like just make sure I'm consistent. But I'm more than capable of doing 2 a week. So if y'all would like to see 2 videos a week, let me know. That's something that I'm considering I'll probably do more of. If possible, I might even do a video every day, but who knows? Like Atomic Habits says, I want to start with increments and small changes. So at the utmost, I'm thinking I might even get to just three videos a week, just pretty regularly. And it also allows me to be consistent, like just build up consistency and remain in this feeling, remain in this vibration and this energy, because it has been a while since I last recorded a video, even though now I'm starting to post regularly. But I'm just learning a lot more. And again, grateful for you guys. Also, the music is, ever going. Like, I'm always working on, it's gonna be new to y'all, but music that I've not long, but for some time, it's been in my soul, and I'm really getting it out and pushing forward. So Ito Langston and Alter Ito, these are 2 of the artist monikers I go by. If you want to tap in with either, I have music on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, but also my website is going to be in the comments, Ekanamiko.univer.se. So UNIVER.se. That's my website, and it has my latest project, GODSPELL. Usually I have the joint in the back, but I'm in a new car. I'm gonna get that back for y'all too, so y'all can see the beautiful artwork that I co-created with the universe. And yeah, Godspell's amazing project inspired by, well, actually a feeling of loss and grief. And it's, I mean, funny enough, my late sister, she passed a couple years ago, and her birthday is getting ready to come up in these next few days, actually. Like, so this week, and my family's getting together, and I'm extremely grateful. Like, one of the things that has inspired me and my artistry and my ability to push forward is gratitude. And I equate Godspell really to gratitude, and that notion of what we speak is what we spell. So like in that sentiment, like me spelling and with my words and what I'm talking about is primarily gratitude. I feel like that's all throughout the project. 5 songs. It's a quick listen, and very substantial at the same time. So yeah, I think it flows really well. So y'all will like that. Tap in with Godspell. And yeah, I got new music for y'all on the way for sure. I'm in Atlanta. We outside. So thank y'all for tapping in. Until next time, I'm gonna get back with y'all. See you soon. Peace.